On August 15th, Taliban gained control of the entire Afghanistan. Let me say it again in a right manner, Taliban got a walkover in Afghanistan. Do you understand the meaning of the word walkover? It means an easy victory that is won very easily by one side. They did not fight with the Afghan army, and neither the Afghan forces fought with them. Within months of US announcement to withdraw troops, Taliban has seized the entire country. If you remember, Taliban was created by the Pakistani army and ISI in 1996 for controlling Afghanistan. Afghanistan was under control of the Taliban from 1996 to 2001, and then 9/11 happened. After that, United States declared war on terrorism, and they invaded Afghanistan. That is how Taliban as a group became weak. And now when the United States has left, Taliban as a group has become more stronger. That means US did not finish Taliban completely. That also means Taliban is not just a group consisting of some thousands of people. It is a mentality, it is an ideology. See, you have to understand this. It's very simple. Talibani people don't have any identity card or something that says so-and-so is a member of the Taliban group. An ordinary farmer or a shopkeeper, after finishing their day jobs, they switch from ordinary citizen to a Talibani fighter. In simple words, if you don't see a weapon, you will not know who are the Talibanis. So it is a mentality for establishing Islamic State. Ideologies and mentalities are tough to be defeated. You can neutralize perpetrators, but it is difficult to defeat ideologies and mentalities. That is why after 20 years, Taliban was able to seize Afghanistan. Now the question is whether Taliban is good or bad. Well, it depends. As per modern civilization who believe in democracy, for them Taliban is a nightmare. For those who want Sharia, Jihad, radicalism, for them Taliban is hero. There is a clear gap, one can easily see that. Now many of my Muslim viewers might say, you don't understand Islam, you don't know the real meaning of Sharia, Jihad, etc. And they even say that these Talibani people are not real Islam followers. Then where are those good Muslims of greater consciousness? Why isn't anyone saying anything to these Talibanis? You can clearly see the pictures and videos coming from Afghanistan. The Afghan people are in distress. They don't know about their future. See that airport video, how people are running along with a moving plane just to get out of Afghanistan. Forget about Ashraf Ghani, just leave that coward and privileged human aside. Look at the Afghan public, men, women and children. If you remember, there was a time in India when people like former Vice President Hamid Ansari and few Muslim Bollywood actors had said, India has become an intolerant country. They are living in fear. If you want to know what fear is, take a note from this Afghanistan incident. And surprisingly, that lady Yusuf Malala who got Nobel Prize, if you look at her statement, she said she is deeply worried for women, minorities and human rights. She can't even criticize and tell about the true nature of Taliban. If you remember, she got the Nobel Prize because she survived after getting shot by Tehrik-e-Taliban. Still, after all this, she can't call out their true nature. I have seen in the comment section of my previous videos, some people were correcting me over the fact that Taliban and Tehrik-e-Taliban are different. Okay, do we really need to care about the difference? So what is the difference? Their command structure, their way of operating. Is it really important to know how they work, what they eat, what they wear? They all have similar ideology, that's all you have to know. Because their ideology is very simple, their hostility towards elected government. You don't need to do PhD on different factions of radical terror groups. Taliban has different factions, here are the names. You don't have to waste your time in knowing their differences. They all have similar ideology. So stop this argument, Taliban and Tehrik-e-Taliban is different. Anyhow, so Yusuf Malala cannot even criticize openly. Rihanna, Greta Thunberg, Mia Khalifa all are silent. No one is criticizing Taliban. Barack Obama is silent. Even he got Nobel Peace Prize, right? During his presidency, America dropped highest number of bombs and conducted highest number of airstrikes and drone strikes. Where are the liberals and left-leaning activists, news outlets, who always use democracy as their favorite punchline? They came out for supporting Palestinians. They have said many things to Israel, but now they are not criticizing Taliban. So this is called selective perception or politics of hypocrisy. Now the Indian government has sent the Air Force in bringing Afghan Hindus and Sikh communities. Indian Air Force has landed in Jamnagar with Afghan refugees. They have been welcomed with garlands. If you see, this is what CAA is all about. It is to grant citizenship to religious minorities of Afghanistan, Pakistan and Bangladesh who are facing persecutions. People don't realize until something terrible happens. Last year, that entire anti-CAA protest was a fraud. Anyhow, Indian government has said openly about helping Afghan Hindu and Sikh communities. Similarly, let's hope Iran will welcome Shia Afghan refugees and Pakistan will welcome Sunni Afghan refugees. US Air Force has also carried around 700 Afghanis from Kabul to Qatar. These people have left everything behind, their land, their businesses, their earnings, everything. Unfortunately for Afghan Hindu and Sikh communities, there's only one country where they can go and feel safe, and that is India. Whereas for Muslims, there are 50 Muslim majority nations. Plus, India doesn't have direct border with Afghanistan. If today India had the POK region, then it was possible to access Afghanistan. I was looking at the pictures how the Talibanis are sitting on governor's chair or maybe some public office and taking pictures. This looks cool, right? You got the position without clearing any exam. Just saying. There is even a video where they have captured some children's park or something and they are driving toy cars with AK-47 in their hands. Do you think these people will run a country? It is easy to capture anything with a gun in hand. The Afghan army's morale is low. Even they could have fought back. But they surrendered because their families would be slaughtered if they fought back. Talibanis are ruthless animals. It is just that they have hierarchy and their top commanders have seen the world. They have tasted money and comfort. For 20 years, Talibani fighters took shelter in caves of northern Afghanistan. Now they have decided to rule. But then the Talibani fighters at ground level are still ruthless animals. They still don't hesitate to cut throats. They don't believe in parliamentary system. So taking over a country is not a big deal. You also have to run it. Right now, Pakistan is enjoying a lot. They are thinking Taliban takeover is a good sign for them. Pakistan is in desperation to come in the limelight. Pakistan thinks that 20-30 years back they had trained and created Taliban. If Taliban takes over Afghanistan, then it will serve Pakistan's interest. This is what the Pakistanis think. So first of all, let me tell you there's nothing to celebrate. Taliban is aware of Pakistan's double standard. After the 9/11 attacks, Pakistan played a double game. On one hand, Pakistan gave shelter to Taliban leaders, and on the other hand, they were also taking money from the Americans. So Taliban is very well aware of Pakistan's double standard. Plus, we have also seen in the news how Pakistani soldiers are being killed by Tehrik-e-Taliban in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Who are Tehrik-e-Taliban? It is a Pashtun Islamist radical armed group that is an umbrella organization of various militant groups which are based along the Afghan-Pakistani border. In short, they are a headache to Pakistan. So you wait and watch. Now that Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, do you think they will not come after Pakistan? Do you think Taliban is not interested in Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa? How much time do you think it will take to incite a spark? If India and Pakistan are enemies to each other, then India will do it. Pakistan is already doing it since 1947. India has not forgotten anything. Akshardham, 1993 bomb blast, parliamentary attack, 2611. Okay, so India remembers everything. So how much time will it take for India to incite a spark? To my Pakistani viewers who were commenting and messaging me saying Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, you guys were celebrating, right? India's investment in Afghanistan has gone into drain, right? You guys were very happy that India's investment has gone into drain. That is your level of hatred towards India. Well, let me remind you, whatever India has invested in Afghanistan, it is peanuts for India. Plus, India gave it as an aid, or you can say charity. India never expected anything in return. These are the Indian projects in Afghanistan. Take a look at them carefully. These are humanitarian aid. This is not to earn profit. On the other hand, look at your CPEC. It is a Chinese investment where they are expecting returns. You have to pay the Chinese back. It is not free. There's a difference between aid and loan. If you don't pay the Chinese back, they will make you slave. Plus, the Chinese are communist. They don't believe in God. So don't consider this as zakat. So Pakistanis were celebrating that Taliban has taken over Afghanistan and India's investment has gone into drain. Pakistan's Prime Minister Imran Khan has openly said 70,000 Pakistanis have died in the aftermath of the US war in Afghanistan, even when Pakistan had nothing to do with it. So ultimately, Taliban killed 70,000 Pakistani citizens. That's a fact. So there is nothing for Pakistan to celebrate. Today's Taliban is no longer the same 1996 Taliban. Now that Taliban has taken over Afghanistan, they will also target border areas in Pakistan's Balochistan and Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Baloch nationalism is another issue for Pakistanis. Plus the kind of tortures that the Pakistani army has done on Pashtuns and Baloch people, they have persecuted them for decades. Do you think the Taliban doesn't know this? So there is no question of Pakistan-Taliban reunion. Islamic religion card will not work for the Pakistani establishment. Taliban very well knows that the Pakistani establishment does not care about religion. In fact, if you look at the names of Pakistani missiles, Gauri, Ghaznavi, Who are these people? They were Afghans. Just like that, Pakistan named their missiles after Afghan rulers. So it is only a matter of time. Pakistan is celebrating right now, right? So it is just a matter of time. This whole Taliban takeover will soon spill over to Pakistan. And one last point. So what, Taliban has taken over Afghanistan? Who's going to recognize them? Do you think Pakistan can recognize them? The moment Pakistan recognizes the Taliban regime, they will go into the blacklist of FATF. Do you think US, UK, France, Russia will recognize Taliban regime? China may do it. That will be interesting to see if China does it. Plus, the United Nations Security Council under presidency of India for the August month, they have clearly said it. There will be zero tolerance to terrorism in all of its form and manifestation. And if at all Afghan soil will be used by terrorist groups to threaten or attack any other country, then UN will interfere. Now, do you think Taliban, which has now got an opportunity to start fresh, will screw its own happiness? Or do you think Pakistan, which already is in grey list of FATF, can influence Taliban? Do you think Taliban would like to join hands with Pakistan? So please keep in mind that although the Afghanistan situation has changed dramatically in a week, but it has been properly contained by the international community. If Taliban takes one wrong step, the UN forces will step in. Even that way, the war will spill over in Pakistan, and Pakistan cannot afford it. They are economically poor. So even Taliban doesn't want to fight with the UN forces. Plus, it will also not fall into the traps of Pakistan. If Taliban wants to grow like Saudi, Qatar, or any other successful Islamic republic, then they have to improve their image. So Taliban has nothing to gain from Pakistan. It is a second life chance for Taliban. In the end, I would like to highlight this news. It's really good to know that there is a Hindu priest who has openly said that he will not leave the temple no matter what. Now that's a real bhakt. That is the power of culture, and that is the power of dharma. I hope you found this video informative. Thank you for watching it.